There is a woman you have seen before, maybe in a magazine, maybe on a screen, maybe, if you were honest, in your own imagination when you picture the life you are moving toward. She is not at a gala. She is not dressed for a dinner party or a red carpet or a business meeting. She is at home, and she looks, there is no other word for it, expensive. Not because of what she is wearing. Her robe is simple, her slippers are plain, her hair is not done in any elaborate way. But something about her, the way she moves, the way she holds herself, the way her home feels behind her, communicates that this is a woman who has decided, in the very private hours of her own day, that she is worth showing up for. That decision is the beginning of everything. Most women have been taught implicitly or directly that elegance is reserved for occasions, for when someone is coming over, for when the photographs will be taken, for when the world is watching. What upper-class women understand, and what this video is going to show you, is that elegance at home is not performance, it is practice. It is the daily, private, completely invisible to everyone else decision to live as though you have already arrived at the woman you are becoming, and it costs far less than you have been led to believe. Welcome to Mother-Cotted. If you are watching from the United States, hit the like button right now. It tells the algorithm this content is worth sharing, and every woman watching deserves access to this. If you are watching from anywhere else in the world, drop your city in the comments. We want to know where this community is growing. We are counting down from 10 to 1, saving the most powerful shift for last. Let's begin. Number 10. Wear real clothes at home, not default clothes. Let us begin with the habit that most women overlook entirely and that changes everything else. Upper-class women do not default to whatever is easiest when they are at home. They make a choice, not a formal choice, not a dressed-for-the-office choice, but a considered one, a soft cashmere loungewear set instead of a stretched-out t-shirt, a fitted linen shirt instead of whatever was on the floor. Simple, clean, comfortable, but chosen. And here is why this matters so much more than it sounds. Research from Northwestern University on what psychologists call enclothed cognition found that what you wear directly influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave, regardless of whether anyone else sees it. The effect is not social, it is internal. Your brain responds to what you put on your body, even when the only audience is yourself. When you wear clothes that communicate care, your posture shifts. Your movements become more deliberate. You make different decisions about your space, your time, and your energy. You move through your own home differently. A woman named Simone in Toronto told us she spent years living in the same two oversized shirts at home, saving her good clothes for other people. When she began getting dressed every morning, nothing expensive, nothing elaborate, simply clothes that fit and that she had chosen, she said the quality of her hours at home changed entirely. She felt like a woman inhabiting her life, not simply passing through it. The practice. The next time you are tempted to put on the default, the worn out, the ill-fitting, the whatever, pause. Choose something that fits, something clean, something that tells the version of you that lives at home that she is worth the 10 extra seconds. Number 9. Keep your home smelling like intention. Scent is the sense most directly connected to mood, memory, and atmosphere, and upper-class women understand this instinctively. Their homes do not smell like nothing, and they do not smell like whatever is lingering from last night's dinner or yesterday's laundry. They smell like a decision was made. A single candle, a reed diffuser with a clean, simple fragrance, a linen spray on fresh sheets, fresh flowers in the kitchen, the particular, deliberate scent of a home that has been thought about. This is not an expensive habit. A good candle burned consistently creates more atmosphere than a room full of furniture that nobody chose with care. The point is not the price of the wax. The point is the intention behind lighting it. Research on environmental psychology consistently shows that ambient scent has a measurable impact on how people feel in a space, their stress levels, their mood, their sense of calm and control. Scent communicates, before anything visual registers, whether a space is cared for or neglected. A woman named Isabel in London said she began the habit of lighting a single candle at 5 p.m. each evening, her transition point between the working hours of the day and the personal hours of the evening. She said it was the simplest thing she had ever done that created the most consistent shift in how she felt in her home. Not because the candle was expensive, because it was intentional. The practice: choose one scent for your home, keep it consistent. Light a candle, use a diffuser, bring in fresh flowers, but make scent a daily, deliberate part of how your space feels. The investment is small, the return is extraordinary. Number 8. Your hair at home should always look like you meant it. Upper-class women do not walk around in their own homes with whatever happened to their hair overnight. Even on the most casual days, even with nowhere to go, even on a Saturday with no plans, their hair looks like a choice was made. Not an elaborate choice, not a blowout or a set, a clean, simple choice, a sleek low bun, a neat braid, hair clipped back with intention rather than bundled up with desperation. The difference is not complexity, the difference is deliberateness. Because your hair communicates your relationship with yourself, even when the only person who sees it is you. And that relationship is what elegance at home is entirely about. When your hair looks like you meant it, you carry yourself differently, you look in the mirror differently, you engage with your space and your day differently. The signal you send yourself that even your private hours are worth composing compounds into a self-regard that eventually becomes impossible to hide. A woman named Natalia in Paris told us she spent years in what she called her chaos bun at home, not a style but a surrender. When she began taking 3 minutes each morning to put her hair up cleanly and deliberately, she said she stopped feeling like a woman between moments. She started feeling like the moment itself. The practice: find 2 or 3 simple, elegant ways to wear your hair at home. Nothing elaborate: a clean bun, a neat braid, a smooth, low ponytail. Make these your default rather than the chaos. 3 minutes, the difference to how you feel about yourself for the next 8 hours, is not proportional to the investment.
Number 7. Own fewer things and care for them visibly. Walk into the home of a woman who has truly developed taste, and you will notice something before you notice anything specific. There is room. Not emptiness, not minimalism as aesthetic performance, but actual space around the furniture, on the shelves, on every surface. Space that says, everything here was chosen, nothing here was simply accumulated. Upper-class women do not fill their homes, they curate them. This is not a wealth habit, it is an attention habit. It is the practice of asking repeatedly, not what else can I add, but what can I remove that is not earning its place here. Because one beautiful thing displayed in space is worth 20 mediocre things crowded together. One well-made candle holder on a bare shelf says more than a shelf full of things that have no reason to be there beyond inertia. And caring for what you own visibly, cleaning it properly, placing it deliberately, maintaining it, communicates a self-respect that no amount of purchasing can manufacture. Research on how people perceive domestic environments found that the single strongest predictor of a space being perceived as elegant and high status was not the price of the objects within it, but the degree to which the space appeared intentional, deliberately edited rather than passively accumulated.
A woman named Fiona in Dublin spent an entire weekend removing 2/3 of the objects from her home, not throwing them away, giving them to people who needed them, storing what had sentimental value, releasing what was simply habit. She told us her home became, in a weekend, the home she had always wanted, not because she added anything, because she finally stopped adding and started choosing. The practice. Walk through your home and remove anything that is not earning its place. Then care visibly for what remains. Clean it properly, place it deliberately, give it room to be seen. Number 5. Set your table even when you are eating alone. Upper-class women do not eat over the sink. They do not eat from containers standing in the kitchen. They do not eat in front of a screen with a fork in one hand and a phone in the other. They set a table, even for one. A placemat, a proper glass, a napkin, perhaps a single flower from the bunch on the counter. 5 minutes of preparation that transforms a meal from fuel intake into a moment of genuine living. This is one of the habits that surprises people when they first encounter it, because it seems almost absurd on the surface. Why set a table for yourself? Who is it for? It is for you. That is the point. Setting a table for yourself is a physical statement that your time, your meal, and your daily experience deserve the same care you would extend to a guest you were trying to impress. That the ordinary Tuesday evening meal matters. That you are worth the placemat. Research on eating behavior and life satisfaction found that people who eat meals in a structured, intentional setting with proper plates, sitting down, without screens, report significantly higher satisfaction from those meals and higher overall feelings of self-worth and daily quality of life, independent of what they ate or how much it cost. A woman named Adeze in Lagos told us she began setting her table for dinner every evening, even when she was eating alone. Within 2 weeks, she said something had shifted in how she felt about her home, her day, and herself. She could not fully explain it, but she said for the first time in years, dinner felt like something that belonged to her. The practice. Tonight, set a proper place for your meal. A placemat, a real glass, a napkin. Sit down, put the phone in another room, eat the meal as though it was made for someone worth feeding well, because it was. Number 4. Master 3 elegant things you always have at home. Upper-class women do not need to impress with variety. They impress with mastery. There are 3 or 4 things they always have at home, always do well, and always offer with total ease and confidence. A pot of tea made properly, loose leaf, the right temperature, a beautiful pot. A simple charcuterie arrangement they can assemble in 10 minutes from what they keep in their kitchen. A signature candle that is always burning when a guest arrives. One cocktail or mocktail they know how to make beautifully. It is not the quantity, it is the mastery, the ease, the sense that this woman has done this 1,000 times and derives genuine pleasure from doing it well. Because elegance is never about more. It is about the depth of relationship you have with the few things you have chosen. A woman named Christiane in Paris kept a box of good quality tea, a small pot she loved, and 2 beautiful cups. She told us that when anyone came to her home, she always offered tea in exactly the same way, unhurried, intentional, genuinely enjoyable to receive. And people remembered it, not because tea is extraordinary, because the care she brought to something small was extraordinary. The practice. Identify 3 things you will always have at home, always do well, and always offer with ease. Not expensive things, mastered things. Then practice them until the ease is real and the pleasure is genuine. Number 4. Create a morning ritual that makes your home feel like a luxury hotel. Upper-class women do not stumble into their mornings. They have a ritual, a short, consistent, entirely private sequence of actions that signals to their nervous system and to their home that the day is beginning intentionally. It does not need to be elaborate. In fact, the most powerful morning rituals are remarkably simple. Open the curtains. Make the bed immediately, not because anyone will see it, but because a made bed changes the energy of the entire room. Light a candle or open a window. Prepare one beautiful drink and spend 5 minutes somewhere you love in your home before the demands of the day begin. These are not expensive actions, they are deliberate ones. And the cumulative effect of beginning every single day this way, of saying, every morning, my home and my hours within it deserve ceremony, is a relationship with your domestic life that most women never develop because they are always saving the good version for later. There is no later. The luxury hotel morning is not waiting for a holiday, it is waiting for you to decide that your ordinary Tuesday deserves it. A woman named Amara in Nairobi began a 15-minute morning ritual. Make the bed, boil water for tea, open every curtain in her home, sit for 10 minutes before looking at her phone. She told us within a month her home felt like a different place. Same apartment, same furniture, different relationship with every morning. The practice. Design your morning ritual tonight. Keep it under 20 minutes, make it consistent, and begin it tomorrow, not next week, tomorrow.
Number 3. Dress your bed like it is the most important room in the house, because it is. The bed is the most visible piece of furniture in the most private room in your home, and upper-class women treat it accordingly. Clean, high-quality linen, properly made, pillows arranged without excess, not 15 decorative pillows stacked for a hotel effect, but a few, well-chosen, placed with intention, a throw folded at the foot, nothing superfluous, nothing neglected. They understand that you cannot underestimate the impact of waking up in a bed that looks and feels like it was prepared for you every morning. Thread count matters less than cleanliness. Expensive linen matters less than linen that is regularly washed, properly dried, and made with care. The luxury of a beautiful bed is more accessible than the bedding industry wants you to believe. It is less about the product and more about the discipline of treating this space as sacred. Research on sleep environment in well-being shows consistently that people who sleep in a made, well-maintained bed report higher quality sleep, lower morning anxiety, and a greater sense of control over their day, beginning from the moment they open their eyes. A woman named Precious in Abuja told us she spent years buying expensive bedding and never making her bed. When she stripped it back to 2 good sets of plain white linen and began making her bed every single morning without exception, she said her bedroom became the room she loved most in her home. Not because of what she bought, because of what she did with it every day. The practice? Simplify your bedding to 2 or 3 pieces you genuinely love. Make your bed every morning, immediately before you leave the room. You are not doing it for anyone else. You are doing it because you deserve to return to it at the end of the day. Number 2. Move through your home with slowness and intention. This is the habit that no one talks about and that changes everything you have already done. Upper-class women do not rush through their own homes. They do not barrel from room to room at the pace of someone who is always behind. They do not carry everything in one trip to save time. They do not eat standing, read walking, or speak while moving toward the next task. They move through their homes slowly, with full physical presence in whatever room they are currently in. This is a habit of self-respect that has nothing to do with having more time. It has everything to do with how you value the time you already have.
When you rush through your own home, you send a signal to yourself, into your body, into your nervous system, that this space, these hours, this version of your life does not deserve your full presence, that you are always already on the way to somewhere more important. The elegant woman at home has made a different decision. She is already where she is. She is not managing the current moment in service of the next one. She is inside her own life, fully, in each room she moves through. This changes posture. It changes breath. It changes the quality of every hour spent inside four walls. A woman named Grace in Accra said she realized she had spent years treating her own home like a waiting room, rushing through it to get to the next thing. When she began slowing her pace deliberately, treating each room as a destination rather than a thoroughfare, she said for the first time she actually experienced her home, not as a backdrop to her life, a part of it. The practice? Tomorrow, slow down by 20% inside your home. No rushing, no multitasking. Be in each room fully before you move to the next. Number 1. Decide every single morning that the woman who lives in this home is worth living beautifully for. And here we are. Number 1. The habit beneath every habit on this list, the habit without which none of the others take root, none of them last, and none of them mean anything. Every morning, before the phone, before the demands, before the world begins making its requests, upper-class women make a decision, silently, privately, without anyone else's participation or permission. They decide that the woman who lives in their home, the woman who wakes in that bed, who moves through those rooms, who spends the private hours of her life within those walls, is worth living beautifully for. Not the woman she will be when she has more money, not the woman she will be when the apartment is bigger, not the woman she will be when life is finally settled enough to deserve the good version of itself. This woman, now, here, worth the flowers, worth the candle, worth the proper cup and the made bed and the slow morning, worth every small invisible act of care that communicates to no one but herself that her daily life deserves to be inhabited fully rather than simply endured. This is not about money. It never was. The most expensive thing in any elegant woman's home is not the furniture, or the linen, or the art on the walls. It is the decision she makes every morning about how the woman who lives there deserves to be treated. Make that decision tomorrow, and then make it the day after that, and the day after that. Because elegance at home is not a destination, it is a practice, and practice, done consistently, in private, without applause, becomes identity. It becomes who you are. 10 habits. And you will notice that not one of them required a significant budget, not one required a bigger home, a different postcode, or a lifestyle that is not already available to you today. They required only one thing: the decision that the private, ordinary hours of your life are worth showing up for. We are building that kind of woman here on Mother Codded, one who does not save the good version of her life for an occasion that may never come. One who has decided that today, this Tuesday, this Thursday, this entirely unremarkable weekday is worth the candle, the flowers, the made bed, and the slow morning. If that is the woman you are becoming, subscribe to Mother Codded right now. Turn on your notifications, because what is coming next is the practical series on building a capsule wardrobe for the elegant woman, the specific pieces, in the specific order, that create a wardrobe that works in any room you enter without effort and without excess. That is coming. Subscribe and you will be there when it drops. And before you go, drop your city in the comments. We genuinely want to know where this community lives. Welcome to Mother Codded. See you in the next one.